So you just purchased the brand new IceRiver RX0 home radiant miner. But how do you set it up? What's going on, miners, and welcome back to the channel. Well, in today's video, we are going to be going through step by step how to set up my brand new IceRiver RX0. This will be a beginner's guide to walk you through everything you need to know from unboxing to getting up and mining on a pool. All right, so let's take a closer look at the IceRiver RX0 home radiant miner. I've only ever mined radiant on graphics cards. Last time it was on 3070s. So this will be a lot of fun, especially as a home miner. So taking a look first off at our power supply, very similar to like a laptop power supply that you see here. This end here with the yellow tip goes into the miner, and the opposite end has a 3-prong. Well, if you're in the United States, traditionally, these cables will come with the wrong plug for the United States here. You can see that's not really going to work, but the 3-prong does. Well, what I actually have here, and if you're interested, I'll put a link down below. These are replacement cables that have what you would need for the US, which is like your NEMA 15, and then it goes to the 3-prong as well. Now this cable is significantly longer. This one is a 10-foot versus what usually comes with this, which is a 6-foot. I really like the extra distance, and I can always coil it up if it's not needed. But if you guys are in the same situation I am, and you do need this, I'll put a link down below. It's on Amazon. You can get it within a day or two. So moving on, let's get this unboxed. Nice thing is IceRiver added these little holes in here, which is actually really convenient for your hands, because it used to be really difficult to get these out of the box, but now it's actually really nice that they have that. So here we have it. This is the brand new IceRiver. This is actually the first time for me actually having one of these RX0s. This is the first one actually. I know they've been out for a little while now, but yeah, I'm happy and thrilled to be getting one in. These mounts here, if you're curious on these holes, are for a 120mm fan if you want to put one on top, but these things traditionally like to run super hot. So quick tour, Ethernet port. These units do not have wireless. You have red and green indicator lights. You really don't need to worry about these unless you're actually resetting the unit. There is a reset button. I'll put a link down below to a reset guide if you ever get stuck and need to reset the unit. USB port where you can plug in a 120mm fan that would go into these holes and then plug in via USB. There are fans on the bottom. They will go on and off, almost feeling like sporadically, but these things need to get insanely hot for these fans to ever turn on. On the back side here, we do have our barrel plug connector as well. And then you do have your MAC address on there. But other than that, that's really it. Nothing else more to it. Something to keep in mind, I've talked about this unit getting very hot. The outside of this unit is actually a heat sink itself. It actually keeps the entire thing cool. So this will get very hot. So keep that in mind as you get it powered up. Keep that in mind as well as when you determine where you want to put these units. So let's get this plugged in. So first thing you're going to need is you're going to need an Ethernet cable, and you're going to need to plug this into your home router or modem, because as I said before, these do not support wireless. One plug into the unit and another one I'm plugging directly into the wall for me, which is wired back to a network switch and to my home router. Next thing we'll want to do is you can plug in the yellow end of this adapter here. That's going to go right here on this side. And then for me, I need to go ahead and open this up because I cannot use what it actually came with. I need to use this guy here. So let's get that opened up and we'll get this plugged in. And then we're going to jump over to the computer, and honestly, we'll be up and mining in just a matter of minutes, which I know you're excited about for sure. Man, this cable is really long. Okay. So we will plug our 3-prong into the 3-prong of our cable, and the other end can just go into a normal wall outlet. It does not need to be anything special. You have to remember these only use about 100 watts, so it's not like you need to be super concerned, and can probably run anywhere in your house. Once you've gone ahead and plugged it in, check your connections, make sure everything is snug, and you will see the red and green light pop on the back side here. And now you're ready to head over to the computer and I'll walk you through how to set this up. Special thanks to the team over at millionminer.com for providing the IceRiver RX0 for today's beginner's guide. If you guys are in the market for your next ASIC miner, or maybe your next home miner, or even today's RX0 by the end of today's video, go over and check them out over at millionminer.com. They have the unit readily available today to ship on their website. You can see it's right here up in front of you at 260 gigahash and barely uses right around 100 watts. So go check them out over at millionminer.com. I'll put a link directly down below and in the posted comment. You have your RX0 plugged in. And well, what now? What do we do? Well, you have to find it on your network and load up the website to configure it. So if you come over to IceRiver's website, I'll put a link to this directly down below, iceriver.io/tutorial. You'll find all different firmware and hardware over here, but you will find a tool top right called Batch Processing Tool. Go ahead and click on English Download. That will download this directly to your computer's download folder, and it actually has 2 files in here. Double click on the IceRiver Miner tool, and it's going to warn you like, hey, you're opening up something that we're not really sure about. Don't be concerned. I know, right? Go ahead and click Run anyway. Once this loads, this is a very basic, very, very simple tool to use. And all you're going to do is come up to the upper left-hand corner and there's a scan tool. Go ahead and click on scan and it's going to say, please select the IP range. So we want it to scan our network. So I'm going to come up here to miner IP and right in here, it's going to list a IP subnet. Mine is not 192.168.1. It's actually 192.168.86. I know, I'm kind of weird. And then 1 to 254. So we're going to hit save. And now we're going to go ahead and hit scan. And now it's going to scan my entire network, trying to find my miner. And once this comes up here, it's going to say that it found 6 IceRivers on my network, which is accurate. Now, it says none down this list here. You're like, what's going on? Well, there's a connected button. Click on that. Now it's only going to show you connected IceRiver devices. And I have a few that are out there. And if we look through those, there's a bunch of KS0s, the original, KS0 Pros. There's 3 AL0s out there. So we have a wide variety of ASICs out there. And it may very much throw you off in that regard as to which one is yours. Now, I know which one's mine because actually if I look over here under pools, here you can see it says RXD, so I know that's my Radiant one, and I don't use HumPool, so I know that's the one I'm looking for, which is the IP address of 192.168.142. So all I'm going to do is come up here on the top and do 192.168.86.142 and hit enter. And now it's going to bring me to the login page for the IceRiver sitting right behind me. And I'm going to type in admin, and the password is just 1234567 Super secure, I know. All right, so it's loaded up and it's actually started mining, but not to my pool and not to your pool. This is actually to the default manufacturer, IceRiver's pool, out to HumPool. So what you want to do is you want to come up to mining settings because we don't want to give anyone free Radiant, and you want to delete everything in these fields here that you see. Close, 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 great. And we are going to keep one little section here. It says stratum plus TCP : / delete everything after that. So it looks just like that because we're going to need this for when we set this up on our pool next. So we're going to look at a pool and then we're going to look at a wallet because we need a place to mine too. We need a place for our Radiant to go to. So next up, let's get our pool set up. For today's video, I'm using Viper.net. I've been using them more and more and really do enjoy them. So down here, you have an option to click Start Mining, and it's going to ask you, your closest geolocation. It does show as well some of the ping millisecond timings here, and the top one says fastest. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and you can actually click on US for me, Southeast Georgia, and it gives you the whole stratum, which is like the server that you're actually mining to. So I'm just going to click the little copy button right next to it. We're going to go back over to our miner and we're going to actually select all of this because we don't need the beginning part, and we're going to paste it. There we go. Look at that. It did actually use the beginning. We're going to paste it in pool 2 and paste it in pool 3. You actually have to populate all of these fields or else it actually throws an error when you go ahead and save this. So our next step is to set up a Radiant wallet. It's not that difficult, I promise. So we're going to come over to radiantblockchain.org. This is the project's website. You can scroll down all the way to the bottom, and there's 2 wallets to go with. Do want to recommend that you use is one that I've used before, which is the Electron Radiant one. So we're going to click on that. It's going to come over to a GitHub. Don't get overwhelmed. On the right-hand side, it says Electron Radiant v0.1.4. Could be 3, could be 5, all by the time when you're watching this. But go ahead and click on that on the right-hand side. Once you're here, scroll down, and there's a variety of different options that you can go with. I'm going to highly recommend that you use the portable.exe one. There is a Mac one listed here, as well as a setup.exe. That one will go ahead and actually install it entirely on your machine versus running off of just an executable. However, I'm not going to go through step by step how to do this. 1, because there is some security information that I don't want to share with you. But 2, there is a great YouTuber out there, SerpentXTech, who has done an entire video on this as of 8 months ago. And he goes through the entire process of actually setting up your Radiant wallet from scratch. He does show you every single step to make things much easier for you, walks you through it all in 4 minutes. So pause my video, go over and check his out. I'll link that directly down below. Follow his instructions and come back to me when you have your wallet address. All right, so now that you have your wallet address, jump back over to your miner. That's via the IP address at the top here. And we need to put in our wallet and our worker name. So I'm going to paste in my wallet address. This is the one that I got directly from the video that we did with SerpentXTech and that I do have installed. Now at the very end of it, we need to put a period and we need to name this. So I'm going to do RX0, and I always do an underscore and then the IP address, the ending of it, 142. So I know very easily how to find it. So now we're going to highlight everything here. You can do a Control A if you're comfortable, which will highlight everything, and then Control C, which will copy it. And we're going to paste it. And you can either right click and go to paste, or you can hit Control V and that will paste it within that field. Under password, we're just going to do X, X, and X. And that's it. We're going to scroll to the right, at least on my screen, and hit save. It's going to save all this information, and then you want to restart the miner in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, let's check back in about 10 minutes. All right, so we're over on our own personal mining dashboard on Viper.net. And actually right now, we are actually getting paid for 301 gigahash versus the 260 that is advertised for this model, which is awesome. Now you do have your unpaid balance right here at the top, which right now I'm at 76.2. You can come over and hit the gear in the upper right-hand corner, and you can change this. So by default, it might be 0. I'm going to change the minimum to 100, and you need to validate that it's actually you. So some of this might be blurred out for security purposes, but it says you're visiting this page from, and it gives an IP address with a clipboard copy. Clip there, copy there, go into the address field, paste in your IP address, and now hit save settings. Now, every time you hit 100 Radiant, you're going to be paid out directly to your wallet. You can scroll down here and see some more hash rate numbers, as well as each of your miners that is online. You can see here is my RX0_142. It shows the 1 hour average, 6 hour average, and 24 hour average. So it's definitely going to take some time to get there. All right, so your IceRiver RX0 is set up and good to go. And whew, this thing is really, really hot still. So be careful as to where you actually put this unit. Make sure it has plenty of good airflow all around it. I love wire racks like Baker's racks for putting IceRivers just like this to get really good cooling. So are you going to get rich off of this IceRiver RX0? No. Is it going to be a great way for you to learn about mining and to hodl a coin for very minimal 100 watts? You're not even really going to notice it on your electric bill? Yes, absolutely. I highly recommend that you mine with this, that you don't try to sell out or trade it daily, weekly, or monthly. Build up that bag, and then when it does hit a big pump, then you can go ahead and sell it off and invest it into something else like another miner or into Bitcoin, which would be absolutely awesome. Now, on that note, I have a video in the upper corner here on the IceRiver KS0 Ultra, the new Kaspa miner, and down below for the IceRiver AL0. Very, very similar miners to this one, but I think you would definitely enjoy these videos and beginner's guide.